So, Indore is in the middle of a deadly drinking water crisis that has killed at least 10 people, according to the mayor of the city. It was an outbreak of diarrhea caused by contaminated water that was piped into people's homes. Local residents say the actual number of people dead is much higher than this, but the health department has not actually confirmed that final number. We have a number of 10 people. But I want you to pause here for a second and consider the fact that we're talking about Indore here. It's the financial or the commercial capital of Madhya Pradesh. It's also been ranked India's cleanest city for 8 straight years. I repeat that, India's cleanest city, where people are dying because the water that was piped into their kitchens was actually contaminated. And I want you to understand the facts of what happened, right? So, right now, in the last 9 days, more than 1,400 people in Indore have become violently critically ill. In a place called Bhagirathapura, which is if they've had vomiting and diarrhea. 272 people are hospitalized, 71 have been discharged, 201 patients are admitted, and 32 are in the ICU. These are not small numbers. This is not a minor outbreak. Now, officials are now testing water from across the neighborhood, and they have established the fact that this is a problem from the drinking water. Apparently, there was a leakage in a municipal water pipeline that allowed sewage to enter the portable drinking water that was supplied to people's homes. Apparently, the most disturbing part about this is the pipeline is obviously underground. There was a toilet that was allowed to be built directly above the pipeline. The toilet was leaking into the pipeline. The pipeline itself was damaged, and so that sewage was going into the water. The leak was reportedly found on the toilet that was constructed over the pipeline. I mean, this is not a freak accident. This is not an act of God. We should stop blaming God. This is an infrastructure failure and administrative negligence. So, this is the timeline of what happened. Mid-December, people started noticing that the tap water apparently was discolored and it smelled bad, and they made complaints to the municipal authorities, who did nothing. The water continued to be supplied. Residents then said it tasted metallic and bitter, and there was a strong odor. Many continued to use it. They apparently boiled it before they used it. But, I mean, what choice did they have? People began falling sick around the 27th of December. Vomiting, diarrhea, dehydration. Clinics started seeing more and more people. Hospitals saw a surge in admission by the 29th. The mayor began to confirm the deaths. Surveys were now begun, but the damage at this point was already done. By the 31st of December, there's confusion about the number of people dead, but there's no confusion about why they have died. Apparently, there's a 6-month-old baby who died because the water that was used to make the formula was contaminated. After this, I mean, the government is making its usual moves and doing its usual things. Officials have been transferred and suspended. A sub-engineer has been dismissed. Compensation of 2 lakh rupees for every dead person, because obviously there's a price we can put on a life in India. Now we're being told the pipelines are being examined, and even after cleaning and fixing, apparently the water is still not completely clean. SOPs are being created to make sure that this doesn't happen in the future. But this is one case, right? Is it a one-off case? In my opinion, it is not. The value of life in India is extremely poor, and we lose people for avoidable reasons or to avoidable deaths constantly in our country. The Madhya Pradesh High Court has now intervened, directed free treatment for everybody in clean water supply. The National Human Rights Commission has taken suo motu cognizance, calling this a violation of human rights. The Chief Minister has affected the families and announced a compensation. We see this pattern all the time. Deaths happen, then there are announcements, there's outrage, then there are suspensions and transfers, media pressure, then there are committees and SOPs that are set up, and then what happens after all of that? Nothing. We go back to living the way we are living. I want to come back to this point of Indore being the cleanest city. Indore topped the Swachh Suviksha ratings for 8 straight years, right? So it would get awards from the President of India, there would be photographs, there would be celebrations. But cleanliness means swept up roads. Does cleanliness not include safe water, functional sewage systems, human dignity? So effectively, all of this cleanliness ideas that we currently are celebrating in our country are all optics. They're actually not safety, and they're not really clean. And if we come out of Indore and zoom out to the rest of the country, I just want to and this has just taken me like a few minutes to put this together. Avoidable deaths, right? Back of the envelope. 2 lakh people die due to unsafe drinking water in India. 2 lakh people, 200,000 people die every year. 17 lakh people have died because of air pollution. Air pollution affects everybody, rich, poor, everybody. 1.8 lakh people die in road accidents. Worst numbers in the world are in India. 2,000 people die because of potholes. 40 million people fall sick because of mosquitoes every year in our country. Just in 2025, 114 people have died because of stampedes are completely avoidable. These are not natural disasters. These are governance disasters. We have a governance crisis. And there's a common thread, right? Ordinary, regular citizens suffer first. Children suffer the most. Accountability is completely rare. And it got me thinking as to why this happens in India. Why are avoidable deaths so commonplace in India, and why does it happen over and over again? And nobody seems to be reacting to any of it. And I just want to take a pause here. Also, we're going about our lives in a brand new year, saying, "Oh, something happened in Indore," but the municipal water gets piped into every one of our homes. And you might think you are safe because you're in some kind of fancy high rise, but you brush your teeth, no, with that municipal water without putting it through a filter. Imagine if it's mixed with sewage and you're brushing your teeth with that water. Or you're taking a shower and you manage to swallow a mouthful. You wash your dishes with that water without filtering it. You wash your fruit with that water. What if there's sewage in it? It could happen to absolutely anybody, irrespective of where you live. And I was thinking about why this happens, right? And why there is a breakage in the chain of accountability, because every death has a chain of custody as to why this happened. And if there were adequate investigations, they could find out where it started. It normally starts with a file in a government office, a warning that was not read or not acted upon, a system that waited for outrage and not prevention. And people, I mean, irrespective of anything in our country, we always wait until enough people have died before there's any reaction at all. In India, life does not lose value at birth, it loses value inside of government files. It loses value inside of tender documents, inside of complaints that are completely ignored and forgotten. And by the time it reaches any action, it's almost always too late. We become, and we do this thing where we say that this is bad luck, or these were the crowds, or this was weather, this is fate. But fate doesn't sign contracts, right? Fate doesn't move files. God doesn't come and take a bribe to ignore a complaint. Bad luck doesn't look the other way. This is all down to governance of every city, every state, and the country. Systems and governments are failing us on a daily basis. If people lived in gated communities and this happened, there would be a massive crisis. But somehow these are in Indore, this has happened in a basti. And so in a basti, people don't care as much. The value for life drops sharply depending on the pin code in which that life is currently living. And unfortunately, in India, we are so much about the optics. We constantly want to celebrate what makes us special. We constantly want to celebrate victories, hard fought victories of sports people who have worked their whole lives, and we've done nothing to support them, but we feel good about it. But we don't want to actually do any of the hard work to bring any change, and that is across the board. Citizens have forgotten how to citizen. We've forgotten how to take responsibility for our cities. We've forgotten how to actually force our governments into action. We've forgotten how to do the PILs. We've forgotten how to do the signature campaigns. And then we say, "Oh my God, this is terrible. Well, India has very poor value for life." The truth is, we all have poor value for life, and we constantly assume it's somebody's bad luck and it's constantly happening to somebody else. We never realize that tomorrow it could happen to us. So tomorrow morning or tonight, if you brush your teeth before you go to bed, I want you to think about the quality of water you're using to brush your teeth, to think about the quality of water that's being used to wash your dishes before you eat off those dishes, and consider the possibility that if we don't hold our governments accountable, tomorrow sewage could be leaking into our drinking water in any city. The cleanest city in Indore was the cleanest. We're all downwards. It's a slippery slope from there. My research threw this up again, that we have a right to life, a fundamental right to life under Article 21, which nobody can take away from you. Clean water, clean air is included in this right to life. It's laughable at this point. Our fundamental rights, we should laugh at them, because nobody takes these fundamental rights seriously. We have a constitution that tells us that we are going to be looked after in this country. It's a lie, because nobody is looking after us. We have schemes, we have missions, we have data, we have solutions, but nobody is interested in actually doing anything about it. The warnings were ignored, infrastructure was neglected, the accountability was delayed, and their lives are constantly treated as expendable. There has to be a line we draw where we say that enough is enough. But the amount of taxes we pay in order to live in our cities, and the poor treatment we have as citizens, the quality of the air that we're having to tolerate, the quality of the water, the mosquitoes, the bad infrastructure, the fact that government simply does not care and does not respond. And normally, when they do respond across the board, state, city, and center, all we get is denials. It's almost like we're being gaslit into believing that this doesn't matter. It's okay if you're breathing poison, as long as you get like a shiny road in return. But how does it matter if we're all dead in the long term, if we're all breathing poison and drinking sewage in this country? And I simply don't understand why we're not reacting to this more as citizens. Now, obviously, you will all write to me in the comment section saying, yes, but what can we do? Well, you can read the Constitution and realize that you can start a signature campaign. You can write on social media. You can become active on all these WhatsApp groups that are full of hate and vitriol and bad jokes that uncles put. You can actually use these groups to say something about it. You can file a PIL. You can write to your chief minister. You can write to your mayor. You can write to your city corporator. You can demand better accountability, at least for the corner of the universe that is yours, that you live in, and hold these people accountable to you, because you are the boss in this country and not them. And we have to keep saying this so that we remember that at the end of the day, this is a country that is for the people, by the people. You are the people. Leave me a comment in the comment section, or why you think life is of such poor value in this country.